What's up, gang? It's Willie Rebuild, baby. I'm back with another one. As you can see, we got everything put back together and we getting ready to fabricate our power steering line. As you can see, get all that hooked up. We ain't gonna let this situation with the oil pressure stop us, because that's only one part of the bill, baby. And if it turned out to be something more than what it is, it ain't nothing for Willie Rebuild to pull this bitch out of here and send it off to my buddy and let him go ahead and machine the bottom in and get it right. And then we'll add a little something extra to it too, since if we gotta go to that extent. But what I did was I went ahead and bust him on down and took the oil pan out, pulled the oil pan down, cause I already know where my problem was at once I looked in the box and seen what it was. And like I say, usually when I do anything dealing with an oil pump, I always go to the dealer and use their seal, the orange seal. But this time I didn't do it. I bought a seal for this engine, but I wind up doing a DOD delete for one of my buddies, and I used that O-ring on his engine. So I was being lazy, didn't feel like going to the dealer to get another one, and I used what was in the box. And I still use what was in the box this time. I just used the O-ring that came with the oil pump instead of the one that came with the Holley oil pan and pickup tube. So here go the culprit to our problem right here. See the O-ring? Let me see if I can get to zoom in. You can see the O-ring is pinched, and it wasn't the right one. It was too small too. So what I did, since I don't have a dash in the car, cause I tested this gauge, I tested the oil pressure on the gauges that go in the car, but I wasn't really getting an accurate reading because where I put the oil pressure sensor at, it's somewhere in here. Right here. I took this oil pressure sensor out the junkyard. Sometime I'm in the junkyard, I just be messing around and grabbing stuff. And as you can see, I grabbed the oil pressure sensor from the top and turned it from the top. You don't want to do that. When you do that, you're going to mess the sensor up inside. You want to turn it from down here at the bottom. So it did read, but it wasn't giving an accurate reading, and then it pagged out. So that kind of stayed on my mind. That I never really got an accurate reading out of the engine. So just me messing around, I took one of the valve covers off, and I seen that the valve cover was dry. Now it did have some oil in the top of the head, so I'm not sure what the oil pressure was before, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be, because I done messed with these engines for a long time, and when you pull that valve cover off, you're gonna see all up on the top of that valve cover, especially on these, because they clean. So I don't know how much pressure it was getting. I don't know if it was at 0, 10, but it wasn't reading. It wasn't putting out a lot of oil pressure. And as you can see, the O-ring is no good. It's destroyed. So what I did was I put a mechanical gauge on here. And we gonna go ahead and fire it up and see what we working with, baby. Let me find the keys. We gonna fire it up and we gonna see what we working with. Let me see if I can get this lock out of here with one hand. Get my key out this lock, and we gonna fire up old Radness and see what she working with and see what kind of pressure we got. as you can see, she was sitting over 40 psi of oil pressure, sitting at like 43 psi. So did it hurt the engine? I don't know. I didn't see any shavings in the engine. I checked the oil, I checked the cam, I looked at the filter. I didn't really see any shavings in the engine. And I'm not about to take the engine all the way apart. I'm about to sit in this bitch. And if it blow, it blow. Fuck it. I'll put another one together. In fact, I'm going to give my buddy a call and tell him if he got to send me another block down here. A 6-0 block, short block, a long block, I don't care. That way, if it blow, we already been built the other one up for it. But I don't know if it hurt it or not. Like I said, it probably was getting some oil pressure. I didn't have the gauge hooked up on it when I first crunked the engine, so I'm really not sure. I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't hear the engine knocking or nothing like that. That wasn't the reason why I went in the valve cover. I really went in the valve cover just to make sure that all my springs and stuff were seated properly. Just double checking my work, man. That's what I do. That's what I do. Just double checking, because unfortunately, usually when I'm building a car, building the engine, it's not going in a car like this. This car don't have a dash, it don't have a gauge. I can't really see nothing because the car is incomplete. So, you know, it's just one of them things that happen. Like the engine out here in Old Heavy, I built that engine like 2 years ago. 60,000 miles later, she's still pulling like a horse, like a mule. And I ain't talking no regular 60,000 miles. 60,000 miles for me consider pulling cars with it, pulling trucks with it, driving it for hours on top of hours, leaving the truck idling all night while I'm in a rest stop sleeping it with the heat of the AC going, and it's still going strong. This is the first time I ever ran into a problem like this with the O-ring. It's a first time for everything, but did it hurt the engine? I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I get the car together and go to nailing off up in this sucker and see what's happening then. Far as the way it sound right now, I mean, to me it sound healthy. I don't hear or see anything that's out of the ordinary that will give me the belief that something wrong with the engine, gang. The only thing I could tell you is when you do a swap like this, just use this for a learning experience. Same way with me. I make sure that I keep this gauge. So when I'm dealing with cars like this, I can put a manual gauge on it and check it manual, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Usually when I do an engine and I put it together, that's a wrap. I'm confident that everything is good. But like I say, I have the gauges in the car because the car is functional. So I have a little something to go off to let me know everything is what it's supposed to be. But in this case, we ain't got nothing because we building the car top to bottom, baby. So we ain't gonna worry about the engine. If it's hurt, it's hurt. Fuck it. We get another one. That ain't nothing. I got another engine sitting in the garage right now. It's just not one of these. It's a 5.3. And I don't really want to work with no 5.3. I will if I have to, but I know I can get another one, another 6.0 or 6.2. It ain't no big deal. But we got oil pressure, gang. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all gonna see this video tomorrow. Today is Sunday, so y'all gonna get this video Monday. I just showed y'all, I just dropped the video out today with the engine towed down. So I towed the engine down in the car and put it all back together in less than 24 hours, baby. Y'all just getting the video late. I was gonna put that video out yesterday, but I put it out today, which is Sunday. So you see, this light work, the Willie rebuild, man. I do this shit for fun, man. This fun to me. I stood in here Friday night to about 11 o'clock, bust everything down. Then I Came back Saturday morning and put everything together. This Sunday right now, it's by 12 o'clock. The engine already was together. I came in here today so we can fabricate our power steering line and get this bitch up out of here. We gonna find out what the motor working with when we get it driving and put it on the road. And if she blow, she blow. It won't be the first fucking motor I done blowed up. It's Willie Rebuild, baby, with real life problems and situations, and telling y'all, when you call like this, make sure you put that mechanical gauge in there, baby, so you can know what's happening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Willie Rebuild over and out, baby.